Hello and welcome to episode 251 of Level Up Your Career, 60 minutes of live Q&A where your questions drive the show. I'm Shanice Mitchell-Cox and I am your host for today. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find out more about what we do in our channel. So please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel to find out more about us. Blanche is in the social chat, so please let her know your name and the city where you are joining from. She will post a link to vote up the questions that you would like answered the most, and of course, for you to add your own. If your question is selected, your name will appear in the credits at the end of the show. So get yours in early and stay with us to see that happen. Today's topic is about how to become a business relationship manager in 2024. The first part of our series on this topic, where we explore one of the most rewarding careers with a panel of experts. Business relationship managers play a crucial role in bridging the gap between organizations and their clients, driving mutual growth and success. And to help us explore this topic is our fantastic lineup of panelists. So let's jump straight in and meet them. I am delighted to welcome back Malini Jayaganesh. She is a strategic advisor and coach at the ITSM Hub and is the Director Emeritus for the Business Relationship Management Institute. With a lifelong purpose to elevate others, Malini has championed diversity and inclusion throughout her professional life, whilst building strong business relationships with so many people. It's wonderful to have you on the show as always. Welcome back, Malini.
Thank you, Shanice. It's my great pleasure to be here. And hello to everyone who's tuning in from around the world.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. And joining us today as well is Sheila Roberts. Sheila is the Chief Progress Officer for Resilience Professionals and is co-author of the popular Business Resilience Guide and course. Her career spans trainer, consultant, coach, and mentor for thousands of successful project management professionals. Sheila is a co-author of the Business Resilience, a practical guide to sustained progress delivered at pace. She has led the development of the resilience profile and other unique tools in the business resilience framework. We are delighted to have you back on the show, Sheila.
Thank you so much, Shanice. Looking forward to a really good discussion this morning.
Me too. Thank you for joining us again. And returning to our panel today is Luca Gambetti. After 20 years spent in many roles in the information technology industry, Luca decided to start his own company, whose purpose is to have a positive impact on the Italian organizations by training and coaching their leaders. Thank you for joining us today, Luca.
Thank you, Shanice, and welcome everyone in the show. I am very happy to be here to talk about business relationship management.
We are delighted to have you back as always, and thank you for appearing on Level Up. And completing our panel today is Mart Rovers, a familiar face on Level Up. Mart is the president at Interprom, where they focus on helping clients adopt leading practice in technologies and service and business relationship management to projects and change. Mart also has a YouTube channel, so check out Interprom's YouTube channel for technology and business interviews. Welcome back to Level Up, Mart.
Thank you, Shanice. Great to be back. Appreciate it. And as I found this quote from Stephen Covey, good old Stephen Covey, I thought it might be a good one to start the show with. He once said, "Building and repairing relationships are long-term investments."
Absolutely. And your iconic quotes always kick off Level Up with a great start. So thank you so much. And Level Up Your Career would not be the same without a wonderful question master. And today we are joined by Suchitra Jacob, who joins us from the beautiful city of Bangalore. How are you today, Suchitra?
Hello, Shanice, and hello to the panelists and, of course, our viewers. I'm very well, thank you. And, of course, I'm also waiting for Mart's quotes as always. And thanks for that, Mart. And I can't wait to ask questions.
Wonderful. I'm hoping that one day you're going to bring out a book, Mart, of your iconic quotes that you have on Level Up. Wonderful. Suchitra, can we take the first question, please?
Of course you can, Shanice. So the first question is from Ross in Atlanta. What is a typical career path for BRMs before they take on this position?
Oh, this is a fantastic question, Ross. Thank you for asking. Okay, we'll go to Luca and then Mart first.
Well, I can say what I have observed. Usually, people go to the BRM position following two basic paths. First path, person coming from the provider department, let's say the IT department, people who is passionate to work on business processes. And the second path is people coming from a relationship focused role. I have some examples of people coming from a commercial role, stepping successfully into a business relationship management role.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Mart, if you would like to add some comments here.
Totally agree with what Luca just mentioned. Indeed, coming either from the provider world, indeed, a lot of BRMs have an IT background. At the same time, there's also an uptick in people with a business background taking on this role, and they're working on behalf of the BRM team that's most often resides in the IT world. To be a little more specific as far as what type of IT background people the BRMs have, and without giving away all the answers, so the rest of the panel can also chime in, is a lot of them actually have a project management background, where business relationship management is a very profound component of project management, and some project managers that decide to make this a full-time job.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Malini?
Building on what Mart has just said, I think one of the common career paths that I've seen is, people who are in roles that have a significant business relationship management responsibility, and then they sort of over time they move into full-time BRM positions. So the sort of things that I've seen are service delivery managers or business analysts. These are the typical sorts of roles, like project managers as well, that go on to become full-time BRMs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Sheila, final comments on this question.
I think I come more from the wider business aspect for this. And you get business relationship managers in roles such as banking, where you've got the business relationship manager having the relationship with the bank's clients, where you still get that in banks because it's not everywhere anymore. And also people from backgrounds such as sales, which need that customer relationship. So really, it's a wide area that can come, even though it started out more from certain backgrounds.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Mart, sorry.
Just to add a few other examples, account managers, indeed, like Sheila said, a lot of them turn into business relationship managers. Actually, great examples of organizations that turned their whole account management team into business relationship managers, and noticing upticks in sales because of that. A different focus. Other roles, people in change management positions, people in business analysis type positions. So those are two other ones. And then what we also see is people in, let's say they lead a department, and then on top of that take on this business relationship management role. So people in management positions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. These were great answers. And I hope that's provided some more insight for you, Ross. Suchitra, if we could take the next question, please.
You can. So the next question is from Jessica. Is a business relationship manager a progressive career?
Oh, this is a great question. Okay, so we are going to go to Mart first.
A simple answer is yes. And then the rest can, it certainly is. You can ease into it. One angle would be that business relationship managers start in a position where they fill some sort of a gap between provider organization and the business organization, where there is, let's say, a lack of communication, and they take on the role of having better communication going on. And there are other examples, but they start in this position of filling that void, and then grow slowly but surely into more responsibilities, broader responsibilities that go beyond that one particular pain point that was addressed.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Luca.
Yes, I agree with what Mart just said. I would like to add that you can start your career in business relationship management solving tactical problems, like, for example, working on a specific solution, and then you will be responsible for the relation to a business partner department, and then you can move also to be a provider head. I mean, the CIO, for example, just to name a provider head, is a BRM. Part of the job of a CIO is to be a strategic BRM. So definitely yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sheila.
Yes, I think anything that actually develops communication skills and the ability to develop relationships with others allows you to progress in a lot of different directions. So I think it's a good stepping stone to give you a very wide choice of what you do next.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Malini, if you'd like to finish this question.
Jessica, I feel that business relationship management competencies are leadership competencies. So anyone who's in a leadership position in the organization would need to have the skills to influence other people, to role model great behaviors, to help smooth conflicts, negotiate, etc. Right? And as Sheila rightly pointed out, excellent communication skills as well. In my own career, I started off as a business analyst, and then I progressed into a full-time BRM role, and then eventually into executive positions, both on the provider end and then later on the business end as well. So it is definitely a career that you can build on. As you gain experience, it's also a career with really good prospects.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panel. They were fantastic answers. And Jessica, I hope you took a lot of insight out of that. Suchitra, if we could take the next question, please.
Next question is from Camelia. Why is a business relationship manager a separate role? Surely relationships are part of all roles.
Oh, this is a great question. Thank you so much, Camilla. Who would like to go first on the panel? Fastest finger first. Mart and then Malini, please.
That's a great question, Camelia. Indeed, why is it a separate role? My immediate thoughts go, why hasn't it been a separate role? I mean, it's its own thing, so to speak. Its own skill set, expertise. It's something that, yes, any role is benefiting from establishing and nurturing healthy relationships. However, where do we find that core, that practice, as in how to do this? Where's the knowledge in the organization? And I think to me, that would be a reason as far as why is it a separate role. I see this more as a central role that is there to spread the wealth and then equip others in becoming better business relationship managers.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mart. And Malini?
Camelia, I do agree with you. Relationships are part of all roles, and everyone in the organization has a role to play in creating that culture of great relationships. However, business relationship management is also a discipline, right? So there are certain methods and practices that that we can use in order to uplift the relationship capability of an entire function, or across functions within an organization, right? Which requires a little bit more intentional and systemic approaches. So in those sorts of situations, you'll find that people in leadership positions such as the CIO or the chief financial officer or someone the chief people and culture executive might actually decide to invest in having dedicated BRM roles to communicate their intention to focus on building good relationships with everyone, and also to bring that focus into building, a baseline for business relationship management capability, and then taking it from there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Sheila?
Yes, I think business relationship manager as a separate role is something that's evolved. It's important to have good relationships in all roles. It's not separate, as Malini says. But I do think it's a recognition that relationships are at the core of everything. And, whether you've been an account manager, whether you've been a technical specialist working with clients, many of these roles have now evolved to recognize the relationship importance. And many of them have now had their titles changed, even though they've existed for many years. So it's not really so much that it's a separate role from anything that ever existed before, but it's a recognition and an evolution of the importance of relationships.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panel. They were great answers. Now, if you are in our social chat, please introduce yourself. Let us know where we're watching from. The social team will be there to pick up any live questions you have. One thing I would say, get your questions in early so that we can prioritize those and get you answers live from the experts. Suchitra, could we take the next question, please?
Sure, Shanice. The next question is from Aditya. My manager is not familiar with BRM, although I am keen. Does the panel have suggestions about how I could raise their awareness and buy-in for BRM?
Ooh, this is a great question, and I'm sure we'll be able to provide you some answers with this. So we'll go with Luca and then Mart.
Well, first of all, I will suggest Aditya to focus on what happened that could be avoided with a focus on business relationship management. Some simple examples could be that in your organization there is a misperception of the value you are providing to your business partners. Could be that you developed twice the same solution in two parts of your organization. So I will try to focus on what you can provide as a value introducing this kind of role. Usually this helps in my experience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Mart?
Well, Aditya, ask your manager, how he feels as far as how he or she is getting along with everyone, or if he or she notices any challenges when it's about relationships between people. I mean, it's very common that organizations have this people first focus, right? It's what they advertise on and what they want to use to draw clients and new hires. But then it's great to focus on people, but we also focus on how these people get along. And then that word trust comes in. In other words, how familiar is your manager with establishing trust and earning trust? Wouldn't it be nice to have some expertise in that area instead of having to reinvent the wheel? So we can all benefit from having trust-based relationships.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Malini?
Aditya, I think, on top of what my fellow panelists have said, I think something that you could also focus on is getting a better understanding of what are some of the challenges that your manager is facing, right? And then you can help them to understand the value of BRM in the context of those challenges, so you can connect relationships to better outcomes. I feel like that's often the best way to get someone's attention. So I would say learn to manage up, get to know what's keeping your manager awake at night, as they say, and what ways you can actually help them. The other thing that you could do is look up the website of the Business Relationship Management Institute. There are a lot of resources available there. Because it's not just about having a casual conversation with your manager. It's also about framing it and articulating it in a way that sounds professional, and will get their attention. So you'll get a lot of ideas from the website of the BRM Institute.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we'll pop a link in the chat to the BRM Institute. So we're going to say hello to some people on social now. So we've got Adara. She is a regular viewer here on Level Up. So welcome back and thank you for joining us today, Adara, joining us from Nigeria. Lovely. And we've got another LinkedIn user from Staffordshire. The reason why we can't see their details, I think they might have a private account, but we can see you. And hello, thank you for joining us today. We've got Emmanuel from Manchester. So hello, thank you for joining us on today's episode, and Nick Holton, who's usually in this seat, but he's watching from Devon today. So hi, Nick, thanks for being in the audience. And Charlotte Miller, who's usually in the Question Master seat, she is joining us today. So wonderful to see you in the audience, Charlotte. Wonderful. So shall we take our next question? I think it's time. Let's take our next question. Suchitra.
So our next question is from Peter. Besides the BRMP and CBRM certification training courses, what courses are recommended to complement these?
Oh, this is a great question. We love a question about certifications here at APMG. So we'll go to Luca and then Sheila and then Mart.
Yes, I would like to really recommend a certification that is little known. I think in Italy, at least, is a little known, but it's, from my opinion, it's fantastic. It's a certification on benefits management that is really, really helpful to gain technique to prepare business cases and to monitor the actual creation of value. I think this is fantastic in the value creation part of the BRM activity.
Fantastic. Thank you for that recommendation, Luca. Sheila?
I would recommend the business resilience qualification because I think that relationships are so much at the heart of resilient organizations and they complement each other. So that the PACE culture in the business resilience qualification has so much that complements the relationship side, the building of trust, the energy that's released from that. And so therefore, you've got a nice complementarity there of the wider benefits that come from having the business relationship manager roles right, and the benefits that can bring to resilient organizations.
Wonderful. This is a great recommendation. Thank you, Sheila. And we'll go to Mart next.
Those are great recommendations indeed. And I'd like to add two more, if you don't mind. One has to do with change management. Change is all around us. It's a constant, and business relationship managers are right in the middle of that typically. And to be a little bit more proficient at it and have a few more tools in their toolbox as far as how to guide an organization through organizational changes, it would never hurt. The other one, and I'm picking on artificial intelligence because of, we're now in 2024 and now we're supposed to be experts in it because, the whole world is talking about it and embracing it and running in with it. Sometimes you hope that BRMs would have picked up on this a few years ago and we're ahead of it. And now we're trying to, scramble and get up to speed on it. That's just one example of these new technology movements, so to speak, that are going on. I could add a few more to it, but more in that space as far as what can technology do for an organization? And AI is just one example.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's ever evolving. So yeah, great recommendation there, Mart. And Malini, if you'd like to provide us with your recommendation.
Peter, I would encourage you to have a look at the BRM competency model from the Business Relationship Management Institute, because it gives you an idea of the different types of competencies or different areas of competencies that BRMs need to have, and that might sort of give you some ideas. But on top of the excellent training programs that my colleagues have recommended, I'd also like to add the design thinking method certifications, which has recently been introduced by APMG. Design thinking is a really or design thinking methodologies and techniques are a really useful thing to have in your BRM toolkit, because you often have to facilitate conversations that helps people to think a bit differently, right? Or you have to help people to, to come from diverse perspectives and come to a consensus. So having those skills, I think the design thinking skills would be extremely useful.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. They were great recommendations. And Peter, we'll try and get a link in the chat for you as well, so you can head over and explore those yourself. Suchitra, if you could provide the next question, please.
We have a live question from Russell. The word relationship has been mentioned a lot. How do you develop the skill of relationships? How do you build, develop, and maintain new relationships?
Oh, this is a great question. And as it's from a live viewer, hi, Russell, I can see all the panelists smiling about this question. So I'm looking forward to the answers. We'll go to Malini first and then Sheila.
What a great question, Russell. Thank you for asking it. I think for me, the first step is actually, cultivating that sense of purpose, or being intentional about relationships, starting from who you want to build relationships with, for what reason, right? What do you hope to achieve out of this? Where's the relationship currently standing at? Is it a non-existent relationship, or is it a relationship that has not been going very well, or is it neutral, or is it already got some legs that you can build on? You need to have some skills to sort of understand that, and then move that forward. So some of the things that would help you is cultivating the art of active listening. So learning to understand and put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Why would they be interested in having an ongoing relationship with you, or what would prompt them to think about building a long-term relationship with you, for example?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Sheila?
I think Malini's made some really excellent points there, and I'm not going to repeat every one of them, but the building on that to build a relationship where you develop trust, confidence in each other is very important. And one of the things that I find is quite useful is to consider how that's being conducted and ways that you're going to deal with conflict, because conflict does come up in relationships, particularly where you've just got either a different requirement or a different perspective. And the Thomas Kilmann instrument to deal with that can actually help you prospectively to think about how you're actually going to manage this, rather than dealing with it afterwards. So whether it's going to be through compromise on both parts, whether you're just out and out competing with each other and develop a win-lose and that's okay with you, whether you want to avoid it altogether and you take steps to do that, accept whatever the other party is going to propose, or to collaborate. And that's the strongest area. And the best way to develop the relationships is the collaboration between you, so that you're building with each other and working together to find the right solutions.
Fantastic advice there. Thank you so much, Sheila. Mart?
Those are great answers indeed. I'd like to build on that and start by saying, relationships as a two-way stream. And knowing what each wants to get out of a relationship, that relationship, it's where it all starts. What are the needs and expectations that we each have from this relationship? If there's some clarity around that, that would definitely be a good start. So in other words, look at it from that perspective. And again, building on the previous answers, that is a very strong foundation for healthy relationships, knowing what you're looking for in that relationship from both angles.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Luca?
Yes, I would like to add to what the others have said, that is very important in order to develop relationship skills, to work on personal mastery. I think that relationship will come more naturally to us if we have strong foundation what is my purpose, what I am looking for at my job, what I am trying to achieve, then I will recognize that I need also others to find my purpose and to find the purpose of my organization. So definitely personal growth is essential to develop relationship skills.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Luca. And Suchitra, if we could take the next question, please.
A live question from Charlotte. What do the panelists enjoy and dislike the most about the BRM role?
Oh, this is a great question. Thank you, Charlotte, for submitting this. We'll go to Malini and then Luca.
Oh, Charlotte, what a really interesting question. My first response is, what is not to like about the BRM role? You know, when I became a business relationship manager, I really felt that for all of my life has been building up to that point, and it's a role which helps you to deliver some meaningful outcomes to your organization and bring a lot of people along with you. You know, which is really personally very, very satisfying. However, the reality also is that there are many challenges associated with the BRM role. And one thing that I find particularly unpleasant is how some IT leaders actually think they just need to create some positions and put people into it, and then relationships will magically just improve from that point, without understanding that everybody has a role to play in business relationship management outcomes. And that's particularly frustrating, So I think that's probably it for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Sheila?
I'm in a position where I'm old enough now that I have never had a title of business relationship manager, but I've done that job with other titles. So what have I enjoyed? I've enjoyed the people and the relationships and building those relationships. And it's such a fantastic opportunity to do that. But what I've disliked most is where I've had the situation whereby my opposite numbers have seen it as an opportunity simply to get one over. And the satisfaction, though, of coming out of that positively is enormous. But going through it, where they're just trying to get one over on you, is not something I actually enjoy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sheila. Luca?
Yes, as my colleagues said, I don't like when the role is only a formal role. I witnessed a huge company here in Italy that simply changed overnight the project manager title with the business relationship manager title that's true, without doing anything else. While I definitely love the possibility of creating value together with others. Often I discover that there are no providers, no customers, but simply people trying to do their best. And this is simply fantastic when it happens.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Mart?
All great answers, and it's almost I'm going to repeat, but I'll add another angle to it. What I like and dislike the most is the people part. Funny, but it's indeed that you deal with people. That's good. There's always the ones that good intentions and the ones that have different intentions. There's that going on. But I think what happens when the BRM Institute started introducing and sharing their body of knowledge as far as what relationships can be all about and how to build and grow relationships, how they've codified in essence with the help of many techniques to help anyone in any position to establish healthy relationships. And that part I really like, as in there is something to fall back on. So you don't have to figure it out on your own. And there is some guidance available, which makes it relatively I wouldn't say straightforward, but it's kind of comforting to know that you're not alone in this journey as a relationship manager, which again is part of any role.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panel. They were great answers. And Suchitra, if we could take our next question, please.
We have another live question from Hussein. How can we improve the respect for BRMs when other functions offload tasks onto them, viewing business development solely as their responsibility?
Oh, this is a great question, Hussein. So thank you so much for submitting it. Who would we like to go to first? We'll go to Mart and then Sheila.
Hussein, this is a very common question indeed, that the BRMs are used to fill any void that is out there, as in, oh, well, they can do it, it's a day of time, or they're in the middle of it anyway, so why don't they fix it at the same time? It's very typical. At the same time, it's also important to make that time available to build on that discipline and grow that discipline in the organization, as in, what does it mean to start a relationship, to grow a relationship, and how can it be done in such a way that anyone can benefit from that type of knowledge? As just one example. In other words, you have to earn that position in ways as in, you're the expert, and I know a few things because of I've studied this and I become proficient at it. I have something to show for with the help of some tools, techniques that you know of. In other words, become that entity, as in, and this is what we do. We're not here to fill any voids, but we're here to actually contribute and add value to any other role. And then, of course, from a relationship perspective.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mart. And Sheila?
I think for me, it's developing the ability to very expertly say no. You've got to be able to say, okay, this is where we work, and this is where our expertise adds value, and this is where the boundary is. Now, doing that in a way that's not just seen as, oh, they don't want to take anything, they're so negative, they won't take anything on, but to do it in such a way that it's focused on adding value is quite important. But even more important, the respect comes from your actions and what you actually deliver for the organization. When you're delivering a lot for the organization, you will gain that respect.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Malini?
Hussein, what Mart and Sheila have said are absolutely spot on. One of the things that gives rise to this sort of situation where other functions, just palm off tasks to BRMs, is because there's very little clarity around what the BRMs are actually meant to do, right? And often there are some myths floating around, such as, BRMs, they just drink coffee, with business partners. That's all they do. So you have to, ensure that there is, there's not just well articulated and well understood, set of responsibilities for the BRM role, but that everybody who's going to function with them, as part of the operating model, actually understands where the touch points are and how they all collectively contribute to value addition. The other side of this is that I find often BRMs are not always very good at articulating their value, right? So they put in the effort. So it's not that they are not contributing to value, but they are often not very skilled in articulating exactly what their contribution is, which often means that people don't understand or don't realize, they're adding value, and then that leads to a lack of respect. So I would say consider both these things: more clarity and better articulation of the value that you bring.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Luca?
Yes, I would like only to describe how clarity is fundamental to solve the problems that showed up in many of the questions. So very often BRM is introduced without doing clarity in in his or her role. So defining what BRM is fundamental.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panel. They were some great answers. And Hussein, I hope they helped you with your situation. And next question, please, Suchitra, if that's okay.
Sure. So a question from Durga Prasad. How does a typical day look like as a BRM?
Oh, I love these questions. They're always really fun to hear the answers to. So, Mart, if you kick us off, and then we'll go to Sheila.
To build on Malini's answer earlier, well, you start drinking coffee and keep doing that for a great part of the day, and eventually you switch to an alcoholic beverage and keep doing that for the rest of the day. That's pretty. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. No, of course it's more than that. Without giving away all the answers, one thing that you should definitely spend time on is do your research. Research as far as what is going on within your organization, what's going on in the world around your organization, your competitors, your market, your industry, what are the trends, and of course bring that to the forefront, and bring that to the surface, and insert that wherever you can, whatever initiative that you're part of, to be of value as far as making the connections to what is helpful for the organization as far as connecting people to people and connecting people to information.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Sheila?
I think I'd answer with a question in that, what is a typical day? Every organization has a different vision, and the BRM is there to help to fulfill the vision. So we all have different roles in that respect. There are common things which Mart has already identified there, and the relationship side is similar in every organization, in that you're building trust, you're building confidence, you're doing your active listening and all the things that we've talked about. But the joy of being a business relationship manager is it's a role that you can personalize because you are building those relationships. And so your typical day is going to be built by you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sheila. That was a great answer. And Malini, if you'd like to finish us off on this question.
I feel that last sentence from Sheila is something that we could print up on a T-shirt, Yeah. Your typical day is built by you. How inspiring is that? So I think the days can just, if you're not intentional, the days can just run from one to the other and you'll just be running the hamster wheel, right? And I think to make the days more worthwhile, it's important to build in time for some reflection, right? To say, what have I done today that is actually, is setting me and my organization up for success in the future? What do we need to do differently? And then if once you identify some things that are worth changing, start, your next day, from the very next day, you should actually start implementing those changes, however subtle they may be. But I would say that as part of my typical day, I make sure that I'm devoting equal time, to building relationships, not just at the business stakeholder end, but also with my provider colleagues. Often that gets overlooked by BRMs, especially when you're assigned to specific lines of business that you are, the lead BRM for. They would sort of spend all their time cultivating these relationships with business stakeholders at the expense of building, the relationships they need with provider colleagues in order to, progress requests and, find solutions and so on. So make time for relationships all around.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Malini. That was a great answer. Suchitra, if we could take our next question, I think we've got time for 2 more questions if we're quick.
Sure. So a question is from Ross. Accomplished BRMs possess a healthy dose of leadership skills. What do you recommend for those BRMs who report rather low into the food chain?
Ooh, this is a great question, Ross. Thank you so much for submitting it today. I can see some smiles from the panel already. So we'll go to Sheila and then Luca.
Thank you. Yes, Ross, good question. But leadership is not just at the top. Leadership exists at all levels in the organization. So whatever level you report in, then you can use your leadership skills. And in fact, in business resilience, we've identified 5 levels in the organization, including the partner network, building on Malini's comment about providers. The partner network is important. And whether you actually interface right down the bottom of the organization from a hierarchical point of view, your leadership is equally important as the top, because every person in the organization contributes to its success. So I would say, don't worry about where you actually report. Use the skills that you've got. They'll be recognized. You'll soon be up from there.
That's a fantastic answer. Thank you so much, Sheila. Luca?
Well, in the Kanban book written by Anderson, there is the concept of act of leadership. Act of leadership means having the courage to say, hey, maybe that something in this organization is not going very well or could be better. I propose to do that. This is a simple act of leadership, and as Sheila said, it can be done at every level in the organization. So understanding what the purpose of the organization is, understanding where we are and what we can practically do could be the first step.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Luca. Malini?
Ross, if you feel that you're not in a position in your organization where you get to make decisions, you still always have the power to influence people who make decisions, right? So focus on building chains of influence, if you like, right? And you can do that from any position within the organization. The other advantage that I think you might have is you'll be able to build a network of peers who are doers across the organization, right? And you'll get a lot of first-hand information, which is valuable intelligence for those who are higher up, in decision-making roles. So think about how you can leverage your unique vantage point in the organization.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I've just seen that Mart's put his hand up, so we'll circle back to Mart for his answers.
Just to build on Malini's, and that's why I pushed the button quickly as in raised my hand, to throw in the word coaching. In other words, be a coach, at your level, in other words, be there for other people, be that empathetic person who can help people with whatever challenges they may face, relationship-wise, of course. So before you be that trusted person that people come to and they seek your advice. And that's maybe another way to stand out, as in, hey, this is a leadership skill, because coaching is a leadership skill that can set you apart and put you in the spotlight. So be a good coach.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panel. They were some great answers. We're going to move on to our next question now. But just a reminder to head over to our YouTube channel to subscribe to our channel. We run these shows twice a week, Monday and Friday. So head over to our YouTube channel. Suchitra, if we could take the next question, please.
A question from Natalie in Canada. Is there a BRM community that I could join to develop my BRM knowledge?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think my internet just broke up there, so I'm so sorry about that, guys. But we're back, I think. So Luca and then Malini.
Oh, yes. The answer is yes, of course. There is the Business Relationship Management Institute that manages a lot of communities, both geographically based and team-based. So you can easily find the community of BRMs that it's nearer to your exigencies. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Malini, we'll go to you next, and then Sheila.
On top of the communities of interest, that are part of the Business Relationship Management Institute, Natalie, I'd also encourage you to expand your network to include other groups, such as business analysts. The International Institute of Business Analysis is also, there around the world, or the Project Management Institute. So, within your own geographic region, you could actually find other people who have an interest in relationship management. They might not be familiar with the term business relationship management, but they would understand things like stakeholder engagement, and the concept of having a value focus. So I would suggest think a bit broadly and connect with other groups.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Sheila?
I'm keeping it brief because I know we want to squeeze in another question. I would say there's always another LinkedIn group that would be able to be accessed.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, panel. They were great answers. And Natalie, I hope they've helped you. Suchitra, let's squeeze that one last question in.
Yes, of course. So another question from Durga. What is the difference between BRM and product managers in the world of Agile?
Oh, this is a good question. Let's go to Sheila first.
I think they're quite different animals. Whilst they may need to use some of the similar skills, a product manager, the whole focus, as it says in the title, is on the product, developing a product, making sure that the product works technically, that it meets its requirements, its spec, the quality is right, and so on. Whereas the business relationship manager is about the value that product will bring to the organization and how they optimize the value from the product with the client base, with the providers who are contributing to the product and so on. So really very different focus.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Malini?
Durga, I've actually published an article on this very topic, so we'll share the link with you. I think product managers and BRMs, complement each other's roles. So product managers would have deep expertise in a particular project, but in the context of the wider scope of value creation in an organization, product managers would be similar to persons who have a hammer in their hands. So everything they look at would look like a nail, right? Whereas you need to have people who are generalists, and this is where the BRMs come in. And so when BRMs are involved, in the ideation phase, we'd be looking at, looking at problems and opportunities in a solution or a technology agnostic way. So we'll actually be looking at what is the real need here? What is the root cause here? Where can we go with this? And it's entirely possible that, from a value perspective, the recommendation we might make is that we actually don't need to invest in any technology at all. Maybe the organization just needs to do some business process reengineering or leverage, a solution that's already available to them. So I think business relationship managers actually operate at a slightly different, slightly different scope, if you like, to product managers. But please have a look at the article which goes into this in depth.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we're just going to get that into the chat for you all so you can have a little look at that. Thank you, Malini. So this has been a fantastic show. And I would like to thank all of our producers for your excellent questions today. Great job. And watch out for your name in the credits if your question was selected. Panel, it's time for your closing remarks. So I'll begin with Malini and then I'll work my way around the panel if that's okay. So Malini, your closing remarks, please.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I think we had an exceptionally interesting range of questions today, and it was wonderful to hear the responses of my colleagues.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today. It's always so nice to have you on the show. Sheila, if I could take your closing remarks, please.
I would agree with Malini that there have been some brilliant questions today, and it's been great fun answering them. I hope that people have got some value added, since that's what we've been focused on, and we'll be able to take that away to explore further.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today, Sheila, as well. It's lovely having you on the show, completing this panel. Luca, if I could take your closing remarks, please.
Yes, a lot of interesting questions, a lot of fantastic answers from my colleague. I learned a lot, and I hope that also all the participants have learned something of value.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your time today as well, Luca. And Mart, if I could take your closing remarks, please.
Most certainly, Shanice. It was indeed an information-packed topic with lots of guidance as in how to get into this space. I found this quote from Bob Burke, and I think he nailed it on the head as far as what we've been talking about. He said once, "Position yourself as a center of influence. The one who knows the movers and the shakers, people will respond to that. You'll soon become what you project."
I love that quote. Thank you so much, Mart, and thank you for your time today as well. Suchitra, it's been a great show today, hasn't it?
Of course, Shanice, and thank you so much to our panelists. And of course, it's not possible without our viewers. We had some great questions as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well done, everyone. And thank you so much for today. So over on our website, you can search for answers to 2,400 questions. It's a free resource connecting you with experts from all around the world. Don't forget, you can also listen to the audio versions of the shows on your preferred podcast platform. Just search for Level Up Your Career and you'll find us on your preferred platform. We have some fantastic events coming up in the next couple of weeks. If you've enjoyed today's topic, I would highly recommend signing up for our next event on Wednesday, the 12th of June, where we will discuss Business Relationship Manager as a career, why employers are hiring BRMs. We'll pop in a link into the chat so that you can register for that. And then on Friday, the 14th of June, we will return to Level Up Your Career, where we will be discussing why certifications matter when building your career in 2024. And then moving on to next Monday, we'll be back to talk about a very hot topic, using AI and automation in business in 2024, part 1. So head over to our YouTube channel, give this video a like and subscribe so you don't miss a show. And if you would like to join our community, we will pop a link in the chat for our newsletter. Please sign up and we will send you a personal summary of what's coming up and how you too can join us here on the panel and level up your career with APMG International. Thank you so much and we'll see you next time.